you are in that process, we are glad you joined us today.
And while it is a well-traveled land, we would like to respectfully acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is the traditional territory of the Three Fires of Confederacy of the First Nations, comprised of the Ojibwe, the Odawa, and the Potawatomi peoples. We are grateful to work, learn, and live in this area. And our musicians today are our very own Angelica and Mike. Thank you for being with us.
And I'm so glad to be working with Nicholas today. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. So let's take a moment and relax as we have our opening prayer. Dear Holy Creator, there is nothing that we're not wanting to know that we do not have the capacity to understand fully. And there is nothing that we're wanting to know that you do not already know that we want to know and have already begun to answer. And so we go forth in excited anticipation that our new ideas will continue to bubble forth and that your loving forces will continue to be revealed in supportive, peace-filled, eternal ways. And it is so. Amen.
I would like to introduce our prayer chaplain today, Tim Eckert. He's right over here with his hand up. Thank you for being here, Tim. He will be upstairs with you today in the prayer room.
And just to remind people that online, we have a 24/7 prayer support with Silent Unity. The phone number is 1-800-NOW-PRAY.
And now it is time for some music. Angelica, what are we singing today?
Good morning, everyone. If you're able and willing, please stand and join us for our first congregational song, Shine Your Light. Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright, a flame that lights the darkest night. Shine your light. Be the best that you can be. Shine for all humanity. Love your neighbor, you and me. Shine your light. Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright, a flame that lights the darkest night. Shine your light. God is shining in my soul. Now I'm feeling full and whole, letting go of all control. Shine your light. Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright, a flame that lights the darkest night. Shine your light. Shine your light. Oh, sorry. I say yes, here we go. It's a choice to blame or bless, plus or minus, more or less. Shine your light. Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright, a flame that lights the darkest night. Shine your light. Sometimes life can knock me down, but I will not despair. When I fall, you lift me up with the power of your prayer. Here we go, now we start. Everybody has their part. Show the world what's in your heart. Shine your light. Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright, a flame that lights the darkest night. Shine your light. Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright, a flame that lights the darkest night. Shine your light. A flame that lights the darkest night. Shine your light. Thank you, everyone. Our next song is Spirit in Me. truth. Now my life is the image of your love, Spirit. Spirit in me. Now my voice sings your song. Now my heart is at peace. Now my soul is the laughter of a child, Spirit. Spirit in me. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Now my hands do your work. Now my lips speak your truth. Now my life is the image of your love, Spirit. Spirit in me. Now my voice sings your song. Now my heart is at peace. Now my soul is the laughter of a child, Spirit. Spirit in me. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Spirit in me. Thank you all. You may be seated. Thanks, Mike. Sorry.
Happen. Now it works? Okay. Unity Spiritual Center Windsor is a progressive spiritual community that emphasizes personal growth, living consciously, and making a positive difference in the world. As part of the New Thought and the worldwide unity movement, we strive to be compassionate, inclusive, open-minded, service-orientated, abundant, and spirit-filled.
Unity teaches that each person is a unique individual expression of God. Our realization of that truth evolves as we expand our consciousness through prayer and meditation. Unity emphasizes that we create our experience of life according to the thoughts and feelings we hold in mind. Affirmative prayer is the highest form of creative thought, while meditation stills the mind and heightens our awareness of oneness with spirit, each other, and all life. Living from that awareness transforms our lives and the world.
Our affirmation for August is, I affirm life today. I am alive in the life of God. I am filled through and through with the renewing, life-giving Spirit. Will you affirm that with me? I affirm life today. I am alive in the life of God. I am filled through and through with
the renewing, life-giving Spirit. And now we have some more music. Angelica, what do we have?
A good one. When the weight of all my dreams is resting heavy on my head, and the thoughtful words of help and hope have all been nicely said, but I'm still hurting, wondering if I'll ever be the one I think I am. I think I am. Then you gently remind me that you made me from the first, and the more I try to be the best, the more I get the worst. Then I realize the good in me is only there because of who you are. Who you are. And all I ever have to be is what you made me. Any more or less would be a step out of your plan. As you daily recreate me, keep me always think in mind that I only have to do what I can find. And all I ever have to be, all I have to be, all I ever have to be is what you made me. But I'm still hurting, wondering if I'll ever be the one I think I am. I think I am. Then you gently remind me that you made me from the first, and the more I try to be the best, the more I get the worst. And I realize the good in me is only there because of who you are. Who you are. And all I ever have to be is what you made me. Any more or less would be a step out of your plan. As you daily recreate me, help me always keep in mind that I only have to do what I can find. And all I ever have to be, all I have to be, all I ever have to be is what you made me. Thank you.
Angelica, you always have such heartfelt music. Thank you so much for that beautiful song. And even earlier, your other songs, I really love them too. Yeah, thank you so much. Today I'd like to introduce to you our guest speaker, Arlene Boudreau. She's been here before. We know her so well. Welcome, Arlene. And her talk title today is The Gift of Presence, I think. Yep, that's it. The Gift of Presence.
Hello? Yes, it is. It's so nice to see old faces. I'm talking today on the gift of presence. If anybody can't hear me, just put your hand up, okay? How's that? Okay, thank you. I read an article by Linda Cavlin. She is a hospice spiritual care director, and she wrote about being present. She says the practice of presence is both an art and a skill. It is so radically simple that it eludes us. The following story she told is really a great example of what she's trying to say. A friend asked Linda to visit a woman whose 12-year-old son was terminally ill with a brain tumor. The woman welcomed her, but at the same time seemed very weary. After a bit of small talk over tea, Linda asked her, "How has this been for you?" She told Linda about her son Jason's many medical treatments and how their church family was praying for him. But Linda sensed a hesitancy, and so she asked another question. What's been the most difficult part of it? The woman looked up as if checking her for sympathy and decided to trust her. To be honest, it's all the help people keep giving. What kind of help? Linda asked. She recited a long list of well-meaning attempts to create a miracle for her son. Prayers, crosses, potions, and lotions people kept bringing. Some came to lay hands on him, and one attempted to cast out devils. Jason finally asked me one day, "Mama, do we have to have any more help? I'm so tired." She had then set a boundary and no longer allowed visitors, except for a few. "What is it about those few?" Linda asked. A smile warmed her face, and she said, "Oh, they would just come and sit, let me talk if I needed to or cry. Sometimes they would play a game with Jason and they brought food." How simple it is, and we have made it so complicated. When I read this story, I could so identify with it. When I had cancer several years ago, many wonderful, well-meaning friends kept giving me advice, but I felt pulled in so many directions. So many options from friends and doctors that I felt after a while just worn out. I asked a friend who had been through the same illness how she handled it. And she said the same thing. It was all the advice that was so confusing. I felt like I was in this smoky place where it wasn't clear what next step I should take. One person suggesting one thing, and then someone else another. During that time of confusion, I had some who visited and just gave me their gift of presence, and it helped me to settle down and be aware of where I could find my own answers from within me. And it became very clear that I was to see a naturopathic doctor. That is what I believed in. That's what was right for me. I took that path and put everything else aside. I wonder if we realize how healing our simple, gentle presence is. The willingness to bear witness to whatever someone is experiencing, whether joy or grief, without pushing or pulling them along to a different state of being, without turning the volume of emotion up or down, is a gift all too rare. We too often feel we have to fix, cure, advise, treat, or rescue. Absolutely, there are times when caring requires action. Thank you, God, for doctors, medicine, and people who are healers. What would we do without them? But I think one of the greatest gifts that we can give is the gift of our listening presence. So we can come to an understanding within us. What is the right action, the right path to take that can lead to our healing? She also talked in this article about the practice of the art of presence, having 3 ingredients: concentration, compassion, and curiosity. I think you can see all 3 very clearly in the previous story. Concentration, Linda really listened to the words, but also listened to the feeling beyond the words. When she sensed something beyond what this woman was telling her, that there was more. In order to do this, we have to stop multitasking, reel in our attention and focus. It's like turning a spotlight on them and focusing it fully. Deep listening creates genuine soul-to-soul contact. Compassion. It doesn't mean having sympathy and thoughts like, you poor thing, this is so awful. To me, it's like riding in a boat. You cannot help them if you are jumping in and drowning right alongside them. It means staying in the boat, seeing them with compassion and love so that you can pull them up. It means no judging, but just complete compassion. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder of Unity, says in The Revealing Word that compassion is love prompted by an understanding heart. Curiosity, which led her to ask the questions that she sensed the woman needed to share. Offering compassion, curiosity opens the door for someone to share what is real and shows our willingness to enter another's world. Linda learned that if her concentration was sufficient, she could be with someone in a coma. Once, when she was meditating and massaging the hands of a 40-year-old man dying of cancer, she heard him with her inner ear saying, "I'm going on Thursday. I'm ready. And I already see the other side. It's beautiful." This was Tuesday. Was this a genuine message, she wondered? This was a man who, when conscious, had told her he had no belief in life after death. She had read his chart before visiting him and seen a note that the doctors felt he needed long-term care and were transferring him on Friday to another facility. Her only concern was that if he truly was going to pass on Thursday, his wife should be told, and Linda hadn't even met her. So she prayed for guidance. As she stepped out from the nursing station, a social worker approached her and introduced her to Fred's young wife. The wife looked at her and asked, "Do you think he's going to make it?" Linda responded, "No, I don't." She said, "I don't know what to do for him." Linda said, "I'll show you." They went to Fred's room and she showed her how to massage his hands, which he had loved when he was conscious. Linda said, "Just concentrate and tell him what you want him to know and listen for what he has to tell you." She was radiant with new confidence. Fred did die 2 days later on the Thursday, his wife by his side, touching hands and mind. At hospice, she frequently heard well-meaning relatives with an agenda to comfort or reassure people out of their feelings. This isolated the patient and gave him a sense of being lonely in the midst of his loving family. She said, "I found that the key was to be present without an agenda. We trust that this is the other person's moment, his lesson, his experience. It is holy ground. Our only intent is not to keep him happy, but to keep him company." I heard Gerald Champowski, author of Out of Darkness into the Light, talk one time on his mother and how he had always tried to please her with no success. When she was in a senior's residence in her last years, and he was still trying to please her and make her happy, he had one of those aha moments. That it wasn't his job to make her happy, but it was his job to accept her as she was. That she had a right to be miserable if she chose. It was her life, and he was to accept her and love her just as she was. It took a few months, but he started noticing that she was telling him that he could leave, as he had a lot to do, where before that time she was always complaining that he never stayed long enough. She started making friends with people that previously she had fought with. She started to be happy. Gerald was giving her the gift of acceptance with no agenda. Reverend Leanne Burt from Unity told of her journey with just being present. On January 8th, 1987, she received a phone call at 5 a.m. regarding the death of her close friend's 13-year-old son. She was shocked beyond words. She had known this young man since their time together as his first-grade Unity Sunday school teacher. More recently, she had lived with the family for about 6 months while serving as spiritual leader of a Unity church. Within hours, she was on the plane to be with the family that she loved so much. Questions raced through her mind. How did he die? What would she say? What could she possibly do for this family at a time like this? Then from deep within came the realization that there was nothing to say or do, that her work was just to be present. Remain as God-centered as possible and hold that inner sacred space of the awareness of God's presence in a situation where God may seem absent. She said, I believe that our willingness to be with people wherever they are, without fear, judgment, or the need to rescue, and with a conscious focus on God's presence, is a practice of prayer. In a phone conversation with her friend after returning home, her friend related that she didn't remember anything about the day after finding her son dead, except waking up and seeing Liliane standing beside her bed. She went on to say, you walked for me, you talked for me, you even had to think for me. You were with me in a way that I couldn't be for myself. Her friend's conversation confirmed her belief that as we keep our hearts and minds open to God, the activity of spirit fills the space and carries us through whatever experience we are going through, and has the power to do the same for others that we are with. It's a powerful statement. As we keep ourselves centered on God, the activity of spirit comes in and carries us and them as well. I know at the time I had cancer, and there were many prayers being said for me, I felt I was being carried over all the rough places, that those jagged, sharp predictions and statistics could not touch me. The activity of spirit filled my life. So we give people the gift of presence, and while we're waiting to see what path their healing will take, we still wonder if we have done enough. Unity believes in healing, and still we see so many around us that are not physically healed. Does the law work or not? Why are they not healed? Reverend Jesse Jennings in The Science of Mind says, the law always works, which is why we think of it as a law and not a likelihood. It works on the total consciousness of the person employing it. When the woman touched the hem of Jesus' garment, it was her consciousness, her faith that made her well. Do you think everyone could have just touched his garment and be made well? I don't think so. It really is the total consciousness of the person employing it. Reverend Jennings goes on to say, if we define healing as revealing the inherent wholeness, it is not necessarily curing a condition. You can be extremely ill and dying and still manifest wholeness. I saw that with Brenda Benza, who used to be a member of this center. Even though cancer had taken its toll on her body, her spirit was whole, and I saw it every time I visited her right up until the time of her transition. Of course, curing is possible too, and happens all the time. Yet we do not know precisely what another person actually wanted, expected, and prayed for. From the outside looking in, we might rush to judge a person as not being healed. But none of that is about the nature of spiritual law. Instead, it's about our judgment of someone else's inner process. The thing is, we can never determine whether spiritual law is effective by examining anyone's life but our own. The law always works, and it works on the total consciousness of the person using it. We may rush to judge and say, why weren't they physically healed? But we don't know what path they took that was healing for them. All of us transition sometime, and the body releases itself when it's time to trust the universe to furnish a new one in a fresh dimension of living. How and when this happens depends on factors that, when affecting someone else, we can never know. So whatever healing path someone else may take, we can be present and let the activity of spirit fill the space and carry them along to make the right decisions for them on their individual healing journey. So we can now have some meditation.
In my life, your blessings. In my life, your love. In my life, your blessings. In my life, your love. In my heart, your blessings. In my heart, your love. In my life, your blessings and your love.
Divine love radiates from my heart to others in an ever-widening circle. I embody divine love, and I am grateful for healthy, fulfilling relationships. I am blessed and a blessing to others. As I replace negative, unproductive thoughts with images and wellness, prosperity, order, and love. I participate in a healing of my total being. I visualize, belief in, and accept my good. And now if we could just have a moment of silence. And so we say, thank you, God, for every good thing. We are so blessed. Amen.
Thank you, Arlene. That was a wonderful talk. So inspirational. And I look forward to hearing you again, talking soon. Thank you. And I want to take a moment to thank our wonderful musicians, Monica and Michael.
And I would also like to thank Leo over here. What would we do without him? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
At this time, let us take to heart our vision, mission, and statement of being, which is shown on the screen.
We have a global vision. Will you please speak it with me? Our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
We have a sacred mission. Will you please say that with me? We inspire and empower spiritual growth to awaken us and transform the world.
And we have a personal statement of being. Will you please say that with me? I am
a dynamic center of the Christ light,
mighty to unfold my good and radiate that good to all.
And now Nicholas is going to begin our announcements.
I guess I am. Please join us for fellowship and conservation. Duh. Blew that one.
Conversation.
Directly after service today, and we will be celebrating August birthdays with cake and refreshments.
Joe Yurchich will be hosting a 9-hole best ball golf tournament next Sunday, August 20th. Tee times start at 12 noon. $22 green fee, and there will be food at the Oxley Estate Winery following the tournament. See the newsletter for more information to register.
And for those of you that don't golf, join the players following the tournament for a late lunch or early dinner at Oxley Estate Winery. See the newsletter for details and check out the menu to pre-order.
On Sunday, August 27th, from 12:30 till 2, Claudio Silvage will be facilitating a seminar, Introduction to Astrologos. The only outcome one should expect from astrology is the revelation that we are infinite, coupled with the fact we are from pure love. Your world gets enlightened when you understand that you are the only one who sends and receives your own karmic waves.
And join Debbie Leland, a licensed Unity teacher, every Friday from 10 to 10:30 on Zoom. Experience Unity New Thought Prayer Principles. Share a sacred time together as we pray healing, prosperity, faith, and peace for ourselves and those who will benefit from prayerful energy.
You don't need to decide in advance if facilitating a spirit group is for you. Just come and check it out. Orientation in the first half of this event gives you inspiring and practical information about Spirit Groups Canada. Then, if you're interested in becoming a Spirit Group host or co-host, stay for the second half for further training. Save the date, which is Saturday, August 26th, and Sunday, August 27th.
And next Sunday, August 20th, Reverend David will conclude his series of talks based on the book by Reverend Robert Burnett, The Quest for Wholeness. Are we there yet?
I want to remind you that our prayer chaplain, Tim Eckert, is available for prayer directly after the service in our prayer chapel upstairs.
All of our classes, programs, and services are made possible by your generous donations. Our heartfelt thanks for your continuous support. We've created many easy ways to donate, which you can find on our website.
We have a love offering box near the foyer door over here with offering envelopes and pens, where you can drop in your tithe or love offering as you leave the chapel. Please remember to print your name in full so we can give you a tax receipt. Again, thank you and bless you for your loving and generous support.
We now invite you to stand up and let's open our hearts and minds in gratitude as we close by speaking out loud or silently to ourselves our love offering prayer, followed by the peace song and closing with a prayer of protection.
Also, don't forget the party that we have a day of gratitude, laughter and gratitude on September 3rd. All the flyers are up in the elevator, so please sign up upstairs, okay? And friends and family are welcome.
Thank you, Maria.
Divine love in me and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today, and a special thank you to Arlene. Thank you so much. Have a great week, everyone.